All right, back with us here at DraftKings again is assistant coach for the first place Philadelphia 76ers, Dave Joerger. How we feeling today?
First place. That's got a good sound to it.
Doesn't it really? Like it never gets old, does it?
No, that's good stuff.
You guys are sitting pretty in the East right now. I know you're dealing with a number of challenges this season. A lot of teams are between like COVID protocols and injuries to stars. You've overcome a great deal already, most notably Joel Embiid and his knee. What's the latest with the big man, and when do you guys expect him back in the lineup, Coach?
Boy, he got hurt on Friday. I think they're against in Washington. Not an enjoyable video to watch. You know, you're the coach in the offense, and it's a good give and go play and a good dunk, and then you're like, oh, and you know, the club has said he'll be reevaluated in a couple weeks from that point. So you know how many days we are out from there, and we have a great sports medicine team. Takes great care of our guys, and then knowing Joe, I mean, he wants to play tomorrow. But I think everybody's going to be smart about this, for the organization's sake, the team's sake, and for Joe's sake. So get him out there as fast as we can and in the safest manner possible. We certainly, we miss him and everything that he brings.
Coach, how big of a buzzkill is that when an injury like that occurs?
Man, I've seen games where guys just lose their minds sometimes. It's just like, man, I can't believe that. And because you don't know at the time. I had a guy who blew his Achilles, and we were down 5 on the road, and we ended up getting beat by 25. And so, for a guy like that, any member of your team is important, but you just never know what it is. And he was definitely in some pain, and so that can be difficult. But we were playing well, and we had a lead, and the guys pushed through, and then you get back in the locker room and see what we got after the game.
Yeah. And Dave, I know with or without Joel, like you guys are absolutely rolling offensively. Like prior to Tuesday's game against the Knicks, you had a streak of at least 127 points in 5 straight games. That hasn't been done by Philly since the days of Wilt Chamberlain here in 1967. So how has this team been able to find that level of offensive success without your MVP candidate?
Yeah, I think, guys are stepping up. Guys, it's always certainly better your offensive numbers when the ball goes in. And I didn't even realize this the other night, against San Antonio, until the next game we played where they were doing the preview show. I happened to catch it. We scored 21 times in a row. Like, I have never seen that. I've seen a team score 21 points in a row, 21 possessions in a row. Like, wow, that's how you get 46 points in a quarter. But when the ball moves, everybody gets a part of it. And, guys are – Tobias draws a lot of attention. Ben draws a lot of attention. Obviously, Joe draws a lot of attention. But in these last couple games specifically, you're talking about when the ball is humming, and now guys got to close out to people. Danny Green's making shots, and it's a shot fake or it's an extra pass, and Seth gets one, and then Ferk steps up and he's making some shots, and that stuff gets contagious. And it's a lot of fun to watch. It's a fun to be a part of for sure.
21 possessions in a row. You can't even do that in like 2K in a video game.
Oh, no question. No question.
Who have you seen step up the most with Embiid's sideline?
I think a lot of our guys are playing some of their best basketball of the year, and I don't think it has anything to do with Joe being out. I just think it's timing, rhythm. It's a new coaching staff, guys getting comfortable, especially your younger guys. Shake, Furkan, Matisse, they're all playing better, I think, than they have at any point in the season. Matisse is really growing into figuring out how to be a two-way player. I mean, what he can do defensively is like, it just, as coming in as a new guy and watching the team play, on video, it doesn't do justice to what he does on the court live, to see the number of deflections that he gets. His hands are everywhere. He bothers people. Really good players. Sometimes they don't know where he is, and then all of a sudden he's swooping in from behind them. So I think, those 3 young guys are finding a rhythm. Tony Bradley's stepped in very well. He's been a pro. He's taken care of himself. He's in great shape. And that supports Dwight staying in his role. And I don't know, Dwight's played better basketball than he has in the last 2 weeks. His energy is contagious. The hustle plays, the rebounds, the getting the bench going when he's not in the game, keeping guys engaged. Because the season can get long, and it's night in, night out, night in, night out. And it's basketball, and we love to hoop. But sometimes, but he's always that guy that brings good energy. And so I think to name one, I would say Matisse has really found a rhythm of the all group and really found a niche for himself in a rhythm with our groups of who he can guard and really put to stop. And then also, he's not hurting us on offense. He's really helping us on offense as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask you who's flown under the radar this season and deserves more love, but I have a feeling it's just like this total team effort right now based off your last answer.
It's kind of it is kind of the group. I mean, but Danny Green's been playing well. You know, we the first two games out of the break, he ends up playing 33 minutes each game, which usually isn't a big deal. But those were both wins where nobody else played over 25. And with Ben being out for those two games, the rotation looked a little bit different, and he played really well in those two games as well.
You just played the Bucks for the first time this season. I mean, some of your biggest competition in the East here. Second night of a back-to-back. We talked a little bit off camera just how tough it is on those back-to-backs, but it doesn't sound like anyone was very discouraged after that overtime loss, though.
I don't think so. I think encouraged by how well we played. I mean, you know, at halftime when you're looking at the stat sheet and they're 1 for 17 from three, like they're not going to most likely do that again. They got going a little bit. Like second night of a back-to-back, I think New York is a very physical team, and I thought that they got into us pretty good, and that was a playoff level energy, physicality. And so coming in the second night, I thought we were prepared. The guys were locked in, and I thought maybe we just ran out of gas. And to be honest, I think Tobias Harris has been so good this year, and he's really carried the load in stretches for us in scoring, especially now with Joe out. I thought they kind of wore him down. He got into the fourth quarter and they had guards underneath him and they were banging on him. And so many nights this year, he has brought us home with his pull-up jumpers. But I got to give him a lot of credit. What he's doing far more than scoring has been just terrific. I thought he's been just a stud muffin all season long.
I thought you guys did a terrific job against Giannis as well. And of course, he has the numbers. He got the numbers, but that's big. But because like what great players do.
Yeah. It's these guys have played him a lot more. I've come from the Western Conference. So you only see them.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't play the second time you see them. So, but this is going to be fun. That's a high level of competition. Both teams kind of match each other pretty well. Us playing without Joe, that is what it is. But Ben taking on what the challenge, and it takes a team to guard Giannis, but. And is he a good defender? Holy cows, is he's
for sure.
He's gifted, special, physical. He can close space like a cat, like a lion, just he's just there. Like, how did you do that?
I mean, he's called a freak for a reason, Coach.
Yeah. So I thought the effort was really good, and we'll learn from it. And but like you said, you made a great point. When it comes down to Brooklyn, Milwaukee, us, Miami's rising in the charts. I mean, those games down the stretch are going to be fun. It's going to hopefully be just a great playoff series. And, we just every time you get more corporate knowledge about playing somebody like that, and we'll be better next time. And it's high level, though. It's good stuff.
Yeah, you mentioned Brooklyn. The Nets are nipping at your heels in the standings as well. I mean, since they brought together that big three of Durant, Kyrie, and Harden, what have you seen from them that makes them so dangerous? I mean, I feel like options are endless here.
Yeah. And you certainly don't wish that they had Joe Harris running around the perimeter because you can't leave him either, because that's what he does. I think the issue with, when all three of them are playing is that two of them are always on the court, right, at one time. Sometimes all three of them are. And you hope that it goes badly and that there's only one ball and they can't all shoot at the same time and all that stuff. But through the course of a game and then through the course of a playoff series, two of those three guys are always going to be on the floor. And so they're definitely difficult to defend. You can do everything right, and they can make a play, just a great, offensive play, and they can get buckets. So it's going to be a battle coming down the stretch, and I'm looking forward to how the seedings come out and roll into the playoffs.
Yeah, well, before you get out of here, you recently talked about how much you appreciate Doc Rivers and his coaching style, his ability to motivate players. What do you think you've learned coaching under Doc that can help you down the road if you ever decide to take another head coaching gig?
Yeah, I think just every day it's been fun to come to work. I think that's any atmosphere that you work in, especially in a team in athletics. You want to come to work with people that you like. He's easy to be around. He lets guys do their jobs, gives them the parameters of what he's looking for. Be creative, bring him information. Doc has got a style that he's very comfortable in his own skin, and his leadership style is true to who he is. He's genuine, he's sincere and hardworking, and that comes through. It's not. I've seen so many times where other coaches, they can only regurgitate who the guys they've worked with, and they try to be somebody that they're not. Doc is exactly who he is. He's got an unbelievable feel in game, and then also a feel with players to be able to tell players what they need to hear. And so I think a lot of times, people tiptoe around and they tell guys what they want to hear instead of, this is exactly, but he's very positive in the way that he delivers messages. And I think players just love playing for him.
Yeah, you guys have a great group of guys from top to bottom there in Philly. 76ers assistant coach Dave Joerger. Thanks for hanging out with DraftKings, dude.
Man, anytime. That's great.